guitar scream. We're talking wrestling, living the dream. From Tokyo to London, across the globe, respecting the craft, we're in the know. No gimmicks or fakes, just pure passion and skill. The best talents from every wrestling hill. We dive deep into the stories behind the ring. Respecting the craft, making the fans sing. Respect the craft, making the fans sing. Respect the craft, respect the fight. We bring the best, we can't hide.
And we are live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Respect the Craft. This is episode number 364, and I'm joined by the legend. He is the innovator of the selfie. We got Mr. Sonny Onoo. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. A lot better now that I'm finally sitting here with you. But it's going to be a good time. We have a lot to discuss, including the Chosen One tryouts that will be coming up and so much more. But Sonny, you heard the name of the podcast. Before we get into everything I want to discuss with you, I have to ask you this. And you heard that. It's called Respect the Craft. So for you, when you hear that term, the craft, what does that mean to you?
Well, I think that there's a lot of smart fan out there who think they're smart. You know, hey, this is the way I see it, right? It is an art form. Professional wrestling is, and there's the good ones, there's bad ones, but but it is a craft, and it is an art form, and you just have to go out there and enjoy it as a fan. That's more than anything else. You don't go to a movie and look for when the Superman's flying. You're not looking for a string. You know, you're not trying to figure out when you go to a magic show. You're not trying to figure out how they did it. You're just amazed the fact that holy cow, they did it. Well, how do they do that? Just enjoy the moment, enjoy the art form, and that's what I'll say. And I think that's what you need to do. Now, if you dive into what goes behind the curtain, that could be an art and fan for some of those dedicated fans.
Yeah.
But end of the day, don't mix the two. Enjoy the show.
Oh, definitely so. That is the best thing there. And look at that. We already got the boss man himself, Mr. Fetsky, in the chat. What's going on, Billy? Thank you so much for watching here. We also got Courtney saying hello. Look at that. But again, that's the perfect thing right there, showing that and not trying to indulge too much. That's something we always try to do here is not we don't like to go behind the curtain too much, because again, it's respecting that craft and showing respect for the performers and the great thing we do here in the business. But when we get into that, I also want to discuss for you, though, again, just the illustrious career you have managing some of the just most insane legends we can talk about in a little bit. But what was it for you that got you into that? Why did you decide to get into the business here and bring your talents to that?
Well, my background's in martial arts, and Eric Bischoff and I, we trained at the same place, and we go back almost 50 years together. Okay. So, we were martial art colleagues. We used to travel around the United States. We had no money, but we know we could go to a martial art tournament and get in pretty good fights, and not go to jail. And when you're in your early 20s, you get to travel and see the ladies, and get to fight and have a few cocktails. So, it was fun for us. We did it because we loved it.
Oh, that's the best thing right there. That's awesome.
And
again,
from
you get the best of both worlds with that.
No, and from that, I got to when Eric, matter of fact, Eric got in the wrestling business because of the game I had. I had this Velcro, a star. It's got low tech laser tag. What's called a Ninja Star Wars. You threw this little star-looking disc at each other, and Eric saw what I had, and actually he pitched it. He said, "You got to get this on national television to sell this thing." So he went to Vern Gagne's AWA because they had a syndicated shows that they had commercials. So we got into that commercial, made a deal with AWA, and during that time, Vern said to Eric, "Man, you're a good-looking kid who can sell. How'd you like to come and work for me?" And that was beginning with Eric Bischoff's career in professional wrestling. And down a year after he went to, of course, moved down to Atlanta, and he moved up the scale there from third string announcer to the VP of operation. And they had an issue with a Japanese company called New Japan Pro Wrestling, and called me up one day and said, "Hey, why don't you go to Japan with me? I have to kind of fix this issue that we had over there." Not knowing anything that was going on over there. Sat in front of, was Eric Bischoff and I sat in front of a scary looking Olympic, I think it was 1980 Olympic champion, Mr. Sakaguchi,
Oof, okay.
Masa Saito, the Greco-Roman Olympian, Ricky Choshu, and, scary looking guys, and they weren't cracking any smiles. And as I began to translate for Eric, and I'm hearing this for the first time, and I know nothing about pro wrestling, and realized that the prior management of WCW has taken upward about $500,000 and not sent for a talent exchange program, and then they didn't send any talent. So WCW kind of ripped him off about $500,000. So, you know, so we have to fix that.
Got you.
And that's it. And I became a conduit for the company and became to eliminate loss in translation communication. So that's how I got into business.
Oh, that's insane to have to go in basically just in the deep end in that situation. But we look at that,
Oh yeah,
and again, it creates these moments that we have pictures like this right here with you with the legendary Ultimo Dragon right there. You have
yeah,
pictures like this with you. Just it's insane to see again what those little conversations that begin and where that starts everything.
yeah. Ultimo Dragon being one of the Super Junior tournament, one of the original belt collector. Before anybody else, he was
Yep.
it. To little side note, little tidbit that nobody knows, or a lot of people don't know, certainly. He's the only person to ever held WWF belt and WCW belt cruiserweight at the same time. Nobody else ever done it. Now, doing a television taping, doing the WCW, of course, we couldn't show the WWF belt,
Of course, yeah.
but technically he held both belts at the same time. He's the only person ever to do it. And of course, you saw the picture of Akila Hokuto. She was the only WCW women champion, and still is, for that matter.
Yeah, it's in
You
the
know,
record books there. So it's and
yeah,
again,
she never lost the belt, and she's actually a pretty big time television personality in Japan as we speak.
ooh, yeah. Again, you see the battle she had, and just it's there you go. But also, I want to say with that because you go in for that for to as that middleman to be able to get through that. But we also get moments like this. How did that happen? That you're alongside two legends there in La Parca, and you got Psychosis. How did that work to build that bond?
Yeah, I was lucky enough. I was fortunate and lucky enough to became a mouthpiece, a manager, because we started bringing all the Japanese in, as you saw in a couple of those pictures before, and of course it's episodic TV, right?
Yep.
You can't just wrestle. You got to be able to tell the story. And so they needed a mouthpiece, and I was that. I became on-camera talent. I done some movies and stuff prior to that, so it wasn't that much of a stretch for creating that character
Not
and being that character. And then of course I that evolved into a lot of those luchador needed the same thing. They needed a mouthpiece. So I know by no means I am fluent in Spanish, but those guys spoke pretty good English, so I can communicate. And they wanted me to manage them. So lucky for me, I got to manage within a storyline. Of course, um, Ultimo Dragon was too much of a baby face, so I said, hey, so I hired La Parca and I hired Psychosis to feud with him, and that's why I got to manage those guys, and I am blessed that during my time as WCW, I got to manage all the greats.
Yeah.
Ultimo Dragon, Jushin Thunder Liger, Great Muda, um, Kanemoto, Otani, and these guys all became down the line through the career became president of the companies. Various company in Japan. And Ultimo Dragon is the chairman of Dragon Gate as we speak. And of course, Muda had a Russell one, and he went on to wrestle for Noah and retired. And a couple years ago, and his last match as a Great Muda, I brought in Sting and Darby Allin to wrestle him in the Yokohama Arena. So I get to do a lot of stuff to make a deal. I'm still do the conduit work.
Yeah.
I just had Ultimo Dragon at WrestleCon in Las Vegas, and I'm booking. I have a Great Muda coming in for SummerSlam.
Ooh, okay.
I have Jushin Thunder Liger coming in for SummerSlam, and we're negotiating right now. It's pretty much done, but not quite. Paperwork hasn't been signed yet, but I'm bringing Naito, who just left, top star of New Japan, who just left, and Bushi, the masked wrestler from New Japan, who just left. So I'm bringing them to the United States, and I'll be booking those guys all over the world. I just got a request from Qatar, and I'm working with some of the great female wrestler again. I've been asked to do some stuff. What you'll be coming up, and you'll make a pretty big news because it's one of the top female wrestler in the country. I'll be working with her to help her, internationally. So, lucky for me, I get to be the conduit, be the contact internationally. So I am very fortunate the career I had.
Oh, that's awesome there. And again, for any promoters that are listening, again, make sure contact Sonny Onoo today. Get those connections because amazing talent that he has a part of his Rolodex right there and gets to continuously represent and be that conduit, as you say, to make these amazing moments happen. But as we continue that, we want to now talk about this because one of the main reasons we're here is next Saturday will be the Chosen One tryouts here. That'll be a part of a whole event with Titan Championship Wrestling that later in the night will be presenting Rise of the Titans. But again, starting at 9 a.m., you have this amazing opportunity here. For those that are listening that maybe are still on the fence about signing up, Sonny, explain to us here what the Chosen One tryouts are all about.
Well, we started this back in 1999. We had a tryout throughout the United States, and we took 12 guys and actually 10 guys and a couple of ladies. We chosen throughout the tryout. Many of the Japanese companies now looking for a talent with the great potentials. So they gave me opportunity for me to go out and find somebody who'll fit into their Japanese wrestling program. And we found 12 individuals and took them to Japan at the end of 1999, just before COVID hit, actually. And some of the guys that we went, actually, to this day, got a contract with a company like All Japan, and still working in Japan. So, if you ask a wrestler, average wrestler, if you ask 10 wrestler, an independent wrestler, what would you like to do? And they will tell you, 8 of them will tell you they want to wrestle internationally, it's only in Japan. But nobody have any idea how to do that. You have to know somebody who knows somebody, and have to be in, have to meet the right person at the right time. And what we do is we eliminate that stuff and have a tryout, and help them get their foot in the door. What we do is we select one individual out of the tryout. Sometimes we do two because it's very hard to make just one. Sometimes it's really hard. So we just had a 2-guy just came back from 8 weeks training in Noah and wrestled at their promotion. And Bryce Hansen from Canada, he wrestled for Maple Leaf Wrestling. And we had John Davidson from Austin. Those guys came all the way to Minnesota to do a tryout. and won the spot. And what happens? We'll fly him there. We'll give him room and board, and give them opportunity to show what they got. And if their booker will assist them, and if they think they're good enough, of course, we're not sending them, no slouch. And these two guys got to wrestle almost every match from day they got there till they left, and they won matches. And we're talking about these guys wrestling not like opening matches. They get to wrestle their top guys. Depends on how good they are, but that's an opportunity they get, to be able to go there. Certainly they get to train, and they wrestle and train like 8 hours a day there. So you're gonna get better, or you're gonna be really sore one way or another. So
One of the two will happen. But no, and I've seen it, like getting to see the tryouts live at I believe it was one you hosted with Kaz Hayashi a few years back at
yeah,
House of Glory. I got to see that and see where those talents went. And again, it showcases how those, again, this opportunity really does become something. So
yeah, and even if you're not the chosen one, we'll show you how to get there. We'll help you get your foot in the door. You have a friend in me, so it depends on how passionate you are. I can help you get there. So, it's only $25 to save your spot. We have a limited spot. There's a QR code on that poster. You can sign up, and the cost is $200. But like I said, winner gets to go. We pay for your airfare. We pay for you. You stay. You get to eat there and train and eat, sleep, and train at the dojo and have an opportunity to wrestle at the promotion.
yeah, it's a huge opportunity there, guys. If you haven't already, make your deposit today. The QR code is going to be right there. Also, this has been posted all over Titan Championship Wrestling social medias as well. Make sure you're there, because also you get this huge opportunity. You make those connections, and also the lucky chosen tryout winner will also be a part of Rise of the Titans later in the night. And you have someone that's been chosen before in Rich Port Ayala, who will be competing in that night as well. He was part of that same tryout that I mentioned earlier with Kazayashi. So again, it showcases how these opportunities can change the trajectory of your career.
Those
Like,
guys got to go to Japan. It was an undercard on Great Muda's show
yeah,
and Keiji Muto's show, and they got to wrestle in legendary Korakuen Hall. Those 12 guys that I took them over there, they got to wrestle. How many people can say that? You know what I mean? And so, yeah, there's an opportunity that I can, when you go there, um, believe in yourself, give it a shot, and you know, make it happen. But you got to make the first move, you know. And we evaluate you. We'll tell you honestly what do you need to work on. But one of the things I will tell you, um, don't be out of shape. You'll be wasting. You'll be wasting your opportunity. So when you go to Japan, those guys start out doing this handed squats, you know, and you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna get in the ring if you're not in shape.
there you go. Again, you're listening. You're getting those little bit of tidbit details right there, those little gems, because again, this is a huge opportunity, especially if you're paying this much to get that shot. Take the best of the opportunity there and be in front of, again, such great minds that are going to tell you what you need to do. And like Sonny said, it's even that, just making that connection with him that day. And who knows, maybe you aren't chosen this day, but still get that option of how to get there when you really are ready. You know?
Yeah, and like I said, I'm gonna show you, you know, I mean, you may want to tag along with us because I go to Japan 3-4 times a year. You
Gotcha.
might want to come along, you know, and you don't know what their book is looking for. They might say, hey, this kid can work. We did a tryout. We had over 40 people in Manchester, England, in February. We just got the kid who won. It was his 18th birthday, and he won it. And he was chosen by Nozawa. I was the head booker of Pro Wrestling Noah,
Gotcha.
and we got his visa about 2 weeks ago. He's taking off on 20th of this month, and he's going to be there till July 1st. So he's going to get his opportunity that he would never had. He's got such a great future ahead of him. You just got to play smart and train and learn and be a sponge out there and do all the things that. I mean, I can't tell you the opportunity he's going to have.
Oh yeah, it's especially at that young age. It's one of those where his mind's still so young and still so just eager to learn. He's gonna grab all that, and hey, if he plays it smart again, his future is definitely gonna be a bright one.
Yeah.
Um, when it comes to you though, seeing so many talent getting to go all across the world and especially the U.S. getting to see these opportunities happen, what is it you're looking for? For if you can give
Well,
us a few things that so people can be ready
well,
next Saturday.
yeah, it's first of all, there's that unknown, right? There's that look. You're looking for the look. You're looking for athleticism, you know, um, and you're looking for somebody who's potentially unique. Because the gimmick they can put it on you,
Gotcha.
you know, but you're looking for raw talent, athleticism, being able to take directions, and having a good head screwed on you. You know, um, there's you may come to a tryout, and I might ask you to take a certain bump. There is no right way or wrong way because you might have been taught certain ways. And listen, I'm an international guy. They don't take the same bump in Mexico as they take them here
Yep.
or in Japan. So we always tell them, it says, hey, we're not trying to tell you the way you do it is wrong. We're telling you how they do it in Japan. So when you go there, you know, there's no accidents.
Gotcha.
So people know where you're going to be, when they call a spot. So that kind of thing, you know what I mean? It's a learning experience, and think of it as I think of it, as being bilingual. Um, it's one of the biggest the niche I have, because and knowing just we got Google Translate, but the Google Translate doesn't tell you what they're actually trying to say.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a translation and an interpretation. I'm an interpreter, not a translator. You know what I mean? Um, you got to learn. Sometimes you got to learn to translate between the words. And Japanese in general is non-confrontational, so they're not going to tell you no, no, we're not doing that. You'll never hear that from them. It's like if they don't like it, they'll say, well, maybe not today. You know what I mean? Because they don't want to offend you, and they don't want to create a big conflict. So that kind of thing, those are the kind of things that I try to read between the line, and make sure both sides gets to. That's what I do. I negotiate for a living,
Yeah.
and I try to get things done try to find a happy place for everybody.
Gotcha. Hey, and again, these negotiations, like we talked about earlier, have created some amazing moments, some amazing deals. And again, those opportunities where now we've seen just the trajectory of where those deals can land, that we're seeing you work with icons and legends all around. And you never know who can be a part of that with the conduit process that you've had. So,
Yeah, you guys
but
get your ticket for Billy's show, The Titan. Billy runs amazing shows. Rise of Titans. It's going to be some stars there that, and certainly future stars. That you're going to be with. Now I'm going to get introduced because I work with, many companies in the United States. I have many friends. Being in business for over 30 years, you know, and that's what you're looking for somebody to go, man, that kid got something, or that female is something else, and I work with many females as well. Akira Hokuto, you talked about Bo Nakano. I know that a lot of people in Stardom, Marigold, uh, uh, and so if you're female, this is not just for men. There's going to be opportunity, and we're working on having a female-only tryout in the United States as well.
ooh,
So
okay.
later on this year, and we have one coming in Atlanta. We have one coming in North Carolina, right outside Charlotte, and we have one in Wisconsin, right outside Milwaukee, and we have one coming up in Michigan as well. So um, there's more opportunity coming down the line. But if you're anywhere near a driving distance of New Jersey, you know, take a shot. And for those internationals, we're probably going to be doing. Look like we're going to be doing one in Glasgow, um, and UK. So and this thing's really working out, and maybe down the line, hopefully, maybe this before the tryout, you maybe have to get a little snippet in from Bryce or John to come on your show and tell you firsthand what their experience was like.
No, definitely. We'll definitely try to get that connection and speak with them to give again that input on what to expect from this, what this reaches out to, and what that opportunity really is all about there. So that is the best thing. And look at that, we got Billy saying, "Always a pleasure working with Sonny." There you go. So because this isn't the first time that we've
Oh no, I work
again
with
you've
Billy
seen me.
anytime. You know what? Billy's great about taking me out to a good place to eat. So I'm hoping Billy been working trying to find. He's a truck driver, as you know.
Yep.
He knows what's a good place. Truck driver always knows a good place to eat. So um, I'm not going to be disappointed again when I see him.
Oh, definitely so. And again, it's going to be a great time. Last time we saw you, it was you bringing in the legendary Ultimo Dragon as he tried to take the TCW title with him, but this time it's
Right.
a whole different environment, whole different kind of night. But again, if you guys haven't already, make sure you sign up for the Chosen One tryout. If you're fans listening in, make sure you're there for later in the night for Rise of the Titans. It's going to be a busy day, but very successful day. You guys are going to want to be there. Before I let you go, Sonny, one final question I have for you, and that is for Sonny Onoo, what is the end goal?
What is what?
The end goal. The end goal
Oh, listen, I'm living a dream, brother. I have home up in Iowa. I have home down here. Um, I get to work with amazing, famous talent in the wrestling world. Chris Jericho calls me and asks me, "Hey, can you get me Jushin Thunder Liger? Because I can't, and I'm having a problem going through the office." I make a phone call. I'm talking to Liger and making a deal happen next day. You know, um, so I got all these friends that I have cultivated throughout the years, and I'm very lucky because if something to do with Japan, they usually, my name comes up one way or another, and being the manager, on camera manager that I was, like I was telling you, I'm gonna have an opportunity to probably go back and be in front of the camera in short time soon with some legendary, um, iconic female wrestler has called me and asked me to help them. So, so stay tuned. A lot of good things gonna happen.
Awesome. No, that's amazing to hear. And again, we'll make sure that hey, this is what Sonny was talking about when that moment does happen. And definitely, we might have to be in talk soon because now that you mentioned again bringing some talent, especially over to the U.S., we do have a show coming up eventually with Respect. So
All right,
we might need to do some business as well, but we talk about that
all right.
off the air.
Okay,
But
brother. Thanks for having me,
no, of
Billy.
course.
I'll see you next week, and we'll have fun.
Definitely. Again, want to remind everyone if you haven't already, make sure you are following Sonny Onoo on his Instagram right there, Sonny Onoo. Make sure you're following his ex right there at Sonny Onoo. And to everyone watching, again, be there for the tryout this next coming Saturday, as well as Rise of the Titans, both being on May 17th. And we'll see you guys on the next one. As always, don't forget to be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people, respect the craft. And we'll see you guys. Peace, everybody.
All right, peace. See you later. Come in.